Two Brits in America podcast. Join two cheeky Brits as they navigate life, culture shocks, and everyday adventures across the pond. From tea versus coffee debates to deep dives into American quirks, it's a witty, warm, and refreshingly honest look at life in the US through British eyes. Expect laughs, cultural curiosities, and a whole lot of charm. Stay tuned.
Hello everybody, how are you? This is Francis Carden and this is Two Brits in America coming to you live from Atlanta today. Sorry we've been a bit amiss in bringing you an episode. We've been traveling, Malcolm and I. So Malcolm, say hello.
Hello there. Yes, I am back in a very rainy and miserable day here in Pinehurst, North Carolina. So, hey, going
I bet
away
you it's
for the
pissing down the
weekend,
rain in
but
England right now.
it's one of those things. As Brits, we should be used to pouring rain anyway, right?
Well, coincidentally, I saw, sometimes you see these memes pick up and it was some American or saying, the Brits just take that in their stride. But she lived in California, she said, we don't get rain, and if it's raining, we don't go out. So she's like, but in England, you just go out. It rain. If you waited for the rain to stop, you'd never go out. It's true, isn't it?
Exactly.
But you've been traveling. I've been traveling. I know we've also had a lot going on. So I've got a few topics ahead of us today. Let's see how that rolls. I know we don't have a lot of time today, but we'll see how we get through. So what you been up to, mate? You went on a very long journey.
Yeah, I had a speaking gig up in the Scandinavia, and it was lovely, beautiful scenery up there. And so I went to a few places, went to Poland, Germany, Netherlands initially, and then up in Norway fields and into Sweden, Denmark, and barely lost my voice, yakking too much. But I tell you what, the highlight, and you got to add this to your list, is that when I got off at Stockholm, I took a flight up to Longyearbyen in Svalbard, which people out there probably think, what the hell is that? It's the northernmost settlement of human beings on the planet. And fantastic. It was September. So, yes, there was snow and ice on the ground, but,
Were you the only British person there then?
Well, everyone spoke English, even though they were from
That's
different
not the
parts of the
same.
world.
Come on,
but I don't know. I think there was a couple of
Brits. Make them British.
There was a couple of Brits there, I think. But it reminded me of Britain because I know the Brits have had influence up there. And I'll tell you why. The hotel I was at is Radisson, nice. It had the world's northernmost pub in it, right? And
Northernmost what?
Pub. Yeah.
Okay.
So I didn't have to go far for a pint of beer. But in that small area of human beings, about 2,000, from where I was, I could walk around the downtown area, if that's right, in about 10, 15 minutes. But there were at least 3 other pubs there.
Love it. I'm going. So there was 2001 people there then you got there. Is that how it works?
And
population cross out, add 1.
Oh yeah, but there's 3,500 polar bears there. So, but that's why they don't go out at night.
You mentioned that. Yeah. Don't go out at night without. And isn't it legal? You have to. You said last time you have to carry a gun or something.
You have to carry a gun or rifle if you leave the settlement. It's law. And
is it AK-47 okay? Is it submachine gun? Is it like Colt 45? Anything?
Well, I went in a shop where they were selling rifles, and and I did see a couple of people going out in the boonies and with the rifles stuck in the back. But I don't know. I'm sure a shotgun will be good enough. It's a bit nerving when you see that, but it's safe there. So as you can see, when you go into a food store, it says weapons not allowed. I get that, but anyway, it's just it's apart from polar bears, which obviously the locals many years ago used to eat them and skin them and all that to keep people warm. But there's
alive.
There's a model polar bear at the airport baggage claim and in the hotel. That's the nearest I got to one, or a lookalike one. But just walking around there, seeing how people live, and they're pretty content actually. It's obviously very safe. There's a hospital there, but the thing is, though, rules and laws there are pretty bizarre. You're not allowed to die there. So if you've got an illness, which could ultimately mean death, you have to get out of town.
They put you
Women
on death
can't
row
get.
if you die. Is that what?
But if you get by a polar bear, then but they don't want to pick up the mess. So that's why they bring up these laws. Women aren't allowed to give birth there, and cats are forbidden. And there's all these weird laws, and you sort of understand why. But it's I went for a sort of long walk one day in the out in the boonies. It was lovely. It's cold, damn cold, but and this is about the airport, Longyearbyen. In a normal day, there is one flight a day.
Yeah, but listen, hold on. So you've just given all the reasons not to go there, all these stupid laws and all this other kind of stuff. I've always, so what's the attraction? It's just so far north, and you get long summers days and short
Yeah,
winter days. Is that kind of how it works?
it's a land of beauty, though. It's untouched,
Ah, I bet it's
explored
beautiful.
by humans, and surrounded by mountains. So,
You mentioned Norway. There's always coincidences. Last night I watched a film called NR24, which is based upon a true story in Norway when the Norwegians were invaded by the Nazis, and and it was listen. If you haven't seen that movie, it's really good. It's all subtitled for the well, it isn't if you're Norwegian, you can turn them off. But for the rest of us, turn on the subtitles. But it's actually a really moving story and so well done. So anyway, I'm not going to dwell too much into it, but it's really good. NR24 Norwegian movie. Love it.
well, actually, in Kristiansand was the headquarters of the Gestapo in that region. So it's
Yeah, so it tells the story of Norway because you think about it, it's like not a lot of people know that Norway was invaded because it's like where's it? It's in the middle, it's like whatever, and then of course Sweden, it's Sweden, and then got involved. But anyway, listen, I'm not going to
hey,
dwell too.
that's it. I'm back
Yeah,
safely.
World War
I didn't
Two,
get
Jesus, just like happy
didn't get
days.
chased by a polar bear. But I went in a beautiful cafe there called Husker's Cafe, and you just sit there, have a coffee, but your best friends for the day or as long as you're drinking there are husky dogs because they're retired sled dogs. And all they go around is entertain people in there. Come up
Love
for
it,
it. Well,
love it.
it's cool like that, just quirky, but it's all right. Yeah.
Hey, so I did.
Anyway,
I did while you were gone. I did a cruise on the world's largest cruise ship. It's only about 3 weeks old. Well, it was older than that because it was built, but it took a while to build it. But I think it was like on its third or fourth sailing. Star of the Seas out of Orlando, well, Port Canaveral. It was amazing. Everybody thinks, when you talk about cruise ships to people, and I've got a lot of relatives now that like, I'll never cruise in Britain. They never cruise, never cruise, never cruise. And then it's like they go on their first one, kind of like, I don't know why we're going to cruise. And then they got the bug, and not literally the bug. They got hooked, right, on cruising. So now they every week they're going, and these friends of ours from over here, they're cruising through like on a 3 week cruise through river cruises and all this kind of stuff. So it's funny, all the people that are anti-cruising, oh, I don't want to be around that many people, or it's like, walking, a buffet, and all this kind of stuff. It's like cruising is, ladies and gentlemen, it's just uniquely awesome. Now, if you are an adventurous person and all you want to do is climb the Himalayas or Kilimanjaro or something, you're probably cruising's not for you. But if you like relaxing, but you like to also be busy, you like to see places in the world, cruising is fantastic. We went on this Star of the Seas, and it literally, I have to share this with you. Do you know how long it took? 7,500 passengers, 2,500 crew. We got to the port at 10:20. We were on the ship at 10:35.
that's amazing.
On
Well,
the
it's well
ship.
organized.
Just like it, and the whole week we were there with 7,500 people. It never once felt crowded. Even in the crowded theatres, because there's loads of stuff. There's an ice show, there's a theatre, where they showed Back to the Future, which was absolutely brilliant. We've seen it in London. This actually did London. It gave London a good run. Back to the Future show, that was really good. There's just so much to do. So people that are anti-cruising because they think they're just too big and there's too many people just need to shut up because that ain't true. I'm not saying cruising's for everybody, but people who've never tried cruising but actually like to go somewhere and or relax and or do lots of stuff, it's don't not do it because you think it's too effing busy. The food's very good, entertainment's great. And one other thing I was going to say on this ship, I don't think it's the first ship. I might have it on the icon, but it also does. It has a speakeasy. Think of it as a speakeasy dinner club. You get locked in. You have to be there by 6:30. They lock the doors, and it's fantastic. It's like a 7 or 9 course meal, but it's paired with cocktails, not even wine. It's paired with cocktails because it's set back in the The music's fantastic, live music, and the food and drink. We're absolutely blown away. I wish we could have done it twice, but we never had time because we had so much other stuff to do. But it's going to be on my list every time I cruise on these ships that's got it. I'm going to be looking forward to the Lincoln. It's called the Lincoln Club. If you've not done it, you need to do it, mate.
Well, the obvious question: when you're going on a ship that big, do you get lost?
No, not really. I mean, you can, but it's what you can't get. We're gonna. You can't go too far north or too far south or east or west. I mean, I
Well,
mean,
true. But I just wondered whether you use a GPS on your iPhone to get from point A to point B on
well,
a
it wouldn't
cruise ship.
work below the top deck, right? So there's your. I tell you what, I used to do is I used to walk. Well, I still walk, right? I do about 5 miles a day. Try to do 5 miles a day on the ship, right?
Yeah.
So when you look at your app to see like your map, well, you're going through the ocean. So bearing in mind it's moving at 20 odd knots or 25 mile an hour or something like that, right? And so it just looks like you're going through the ocean in circles, like it's like one of those spirograph things. So the picture of it, I have to send it you. The picture of it is like a spirograph because it's tracking you through GPS. If you're walking on the top deck, these days you
Yeah.
walk on like deck 4, deck 5, and it doesn't really pick up at all. But it is quite it's quite funny to look at your route
It's
map.
funny. Yeah. Well, I agree with you. Also, before you get on the ship and get off, there's always time to hang around wherever you are anyway when you're not on
Well,
the ship.
that's why you're never
Yeah.
lost because you're never in a hurry. I mean, if you're in a hurry, then know exactly where you're going, but you're never in a hurry. I
No, that
mean,
is,
you have
chill
to,
out. I can't imagine we 30 years ago would be talking about this subject. You know,
no, I never really got into. I think the first cruise I took was the ferry to the Hook of Holland. I wouldn't count that
or
as a
the Isle
cruise.
of Wight back in England. Yeah, I
I will
know.
tell you that though, 99% of the passengers at that time, not me, just were throwing up. That was from where is that? From to the Hook of Holland. I forget where we go out of, not Yarmouth, somewhere like that anyway. Like some anyway, I can't remember where it went out of, but it was just north of the Channel entrance, and we took it. It was so rough, it was so
Yeah,
bad. And then we
it
drove to
can
Minden
be.
in Germany, but it was so bad. And then we did a cruise ship in on Y2K. We did that too. Because being in tech. I took a cruise on Y2K and everybody's like, well, what are you worried about? There's nothing's going to wrong. I'm like, yeah, but you know what? If something did go wrong on Y2K, being in tech, it could have, right? Although exaggerated. Um, what place for it to go wrong? You're stuck on a cruise ship with all that food, right? In the middle of the ocean. And even if it broke down, you've got 7 days of eating yourself to death or it all came to an end.
I suppose
So
there's
for,
some confusion. I was on the ship as it was sailing through the Baltic Sea. One night we put the clocks ahead. The following night we put them back. So
yeah.
it's just because up that neck of the woods, you just had to maybe at sea, but you still put the clocks forward and back.
I
But
mean, they
forward and
don't
back
bother, do
within
they?
the space of 48 hours seems a bit
They
damn
don't
weird.
normally bother in the cat. They just say stay on ship's time, but of course people don't, and then they get late for the ship, and then the ship leaves without them, and
Yeah,
you hear
I know. I
those
know.
nightmares.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I thought that was fantastic. So definitely, Star of the Seas, largest ship in the world. It's like 240 odd thousand tons. It's nuts how big it is, but being big doesn't mean it's crowded. Being big means that the crowded people get dispersed and just enjoy, I don't know, 13, 15 restaurants, bars, whatever. And we had a fantastic time, me and my wife and the son. And so anyway,
Good.
I recommend that.
How the hell do these things not sink? Anyway, it's just like
Put
it's
a rubber
amazing.
duck in the bath and try turning it upside down. It floats again, back up, right? So there you go. That's the theory.
Yeah, well, there you go.
No, it's to do with displacement, isn't it? Displacement.
Yeah,
And to
told you.
everybody that went on Titanic. But a couple other things. Listen, so there's some topics for today, right? So two Brits in America. We're here, ladies and gentlemen. So it was something my wife said to me the other day. She heard on the British news, Sky News, which we get here where we get every news if we want it. There was something about that. You remember when we were growing up in England, fantastic, really good train network. Whether they run on time, that's
Yeah,
another one. But one of the things that stopped them running on time was, do you remember, leaves on the line? Now you can't make that shit up, right? Yeah, the trains can't run because there's too many leaves on the track. What the freaking hell?
no,
And that is still true to this day, right? That
really,
if you get too many leaves on the line and or they freeze, they don't have to freeze, the traction for the trains braking and or the things that are in the sensors that are in the railway throw a tears, and so they stop the trains for leaves on the line. I mean, and that's been going on for decades, all the time since I was a kid, even to recently. And the reason I know that is because what came on the news was they finally got a solution for it. And the solution is they
Yeah.
run these trains that cost hundreds of millions of dollars specifically to de-ice and remove leaves from the line. Now it's a
But
freaking
why
leaf.
doesn't the track get ice on them then? Why did leaves make that much of a difference?
You listen. Don't ask me stupid questions. I just read the story and I'm replaying. My wife said it would be like a
Oh
good
God.
topic. No, it just you got to ask yourself why does like 100-ton, 1,000-ton, gigaton train give a shit about a leaf on the line?
Well,
Right.
all this may change once we catch up with the Chinese, who've got they use a maglev train there in
Oh, the bullet
parts of
trains.
Shanghai.
I've been on the bullet
There's no
train.
wheels on them. There's no wheels on them, so this magnetic technology. So
I know.
it's, but
And they run on time, and people think that's made up. No, we did them, and every single time the train left within 15 seconds of the departure time, and it arrived exactly on time
yeah,
as well, like a
exactly.
minute or two before. Absolutely, absolute perfection. But maybe they don't have leaves in Japan to go on. Well, it doesn't matter, as you say, they're not on tracks. But
Yeah.
what a
Yeah.
difference to the US though, where the trains like if you wanted to go from New York to Atlanta, even if you could, I think it's like a 3-day trek, isn't it? It's
Oh,
not even
oh
far.
yeah. And I've been on the Amtrak before, um, and from Milwaukee down to Chicago, and it'd be quicker driving, I think. You know. But
Walking.
the advantage is you get downtown Chicago. You don't have to worry about parking your darn car. So that's the advantage, I suppose.
I've done Boston to New York. That was fun. That was really cool. Yeah, I like that. That was cool, but it does take a long time. I don't know. It just takes so long. Whereas the trains in England, they can run pretty quick. I think it's 120, 130, but it's nothing compared to the you're right, the mag trains and the bullet trains. They're just nuts. All
Hmm.
right, so Leeds on the line. I thought that was really topical. The other one that this is kind of British and American, right? When you go into a bathroom in a restaurant, toilet, loo, bog, in a restaurant, and there's a big sign always, and it says employees must wash their hands. Good. Glad the
Yeah.
employees have to remind them. But why aren't people taught that washing hands is a fundamental, paradoxical thing after you've been to the bathroom? What is that all about?
I don't know.
Why do you have to remind people and
People
then
to
say,
do it.
but listen, why doesn't it say cross out employees? I feel like crossing out employees and say every mother effer should be washing their hands,
Exactly. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because those people are coming out of the bathroom and then sitting down at a table and then anyway, there's a story to cover you on that topic, but it's kind of like I don't know, it's just a bit different upbringings maybe, but yeah,
Mm,
I don't know. One
I
of
don't know.
those, one thing bugs you sometimes. I don't know why. Don't know why.
It's pretty when you go overseas, you see the different spelling for toilet. In Norway, it's Toale something or other. It's
Okay.
and you just want to say, oh, they've spelled it wrong, but no, it's just the way they spell it up there, you know. And it's terminology, and it's the understanding of why things are a little bit different. And I have got to change subject here on you, Francis, because back home now when watching American football on TV, it's the college game we watch more than the NFL, but we watched it, and then when they say someone made a touchdown, and I'm thinking, well, they ran over the line. They didn't touch the ball on the ground. Why do they call it a touchdown?
You have to touch the ball on the ground, don't
Yeah,
you?
no,
Yes, I thought you did.
you could just get pat if you got the ball, you can hang your hand over the line with the ball in the air. That's a touchdown.
No, you have to actually. I thought, look, you're probably right, but touchdown is probably applicable to rugby because you do have to touch the ball on the ground.
Yeah, but that there
I've
there
seen.
there again, that's another messed up thing. It's
Well, I don't
called
know.
it's called a try. When you imagine me me speaking to an American and I watch a rugby game, I do quite a bit, and I say that was a nice try, and the other guy says, "Wait a minute,
But he
he
scored.
scored. How can it be a try? It's a success." Yeah, I know it's a terminology thing,
Well,
isn't
we
it?
had this discussion the other day when we were watching the game. It's like, this whole Americans just can't say the word nil. I mean, I went to watch some summer soccer this year. I think we talked about that. In Atlanta, they brought some of the Premier League teams into play, and that was really cool. But he just can't say nil. It's zero. It's like 0 0 or 2 0. No, it's nil. Nil. I
Nil.
don't, doesn't it all come from, mostly comes from Latin, doesn't it? A lot of this shit. I mean, and
Yeah,
then I don't know.
yeah,
I think
nil
so.
nil draw. I don't know. Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, this games could end in nil nil. That's a fact. I mean,
Oh, and in tennis, it's love.
yeah.
15 love. It's nil. 15 nil. I always joke actually when I watch it. Oh, it's 15 nil. And then
Actually,
and then and then when it's 40-40, it's deuce. Doesn't
yeah,
deuce mean two? Or does it mean the same? I don't know. I'm making shit up now.
it's in every sport. Like in cricket, right? The bowler or gets a person out, and at the end of the game said, "Oh, so and so, Malcolm Teasdale took 6 wickets." Well, I didn't take any wickets. They're still stuck in the ground. That's what the wickets are, stuck in the ground with bells on the top. They call them stumps. I didn't take
We
wickets.
could do a whole episode on just the idiosyncrasies of the sport terminologies. Because when you think about it, you're right. It's like, and then different sports, like, we have spoke about this before about hockey. You can have ice hockey, field hockey, and that, yeah. I mean, so okay. So we'll put some stuff together for that one. I think that's a funny one. So listen, a couple of other things. So are you ready for the aliens?
Sorry, Francis, what you say?
I said, are you ready for the aliens?
Oh, I think it's about time they got here to sort
Did
out
you
our planet.
see? This is the news, right? So what's it called? Three Eye Atlas.
Yeah.
It's this inter galaxy. Well, it's from the outside our solar system, actually, not galaxy. So I guess it could have come from another galaxy. So it's this thing that's where it would have come from. Actually, I think it started life before when the Big Bang happened. Anyway, it came right through, but then it started to slow down, and then they said it was like it's a 0.005% chance of it following the trajectory and the speed and everything it did, it shouldn't do. But as Brian Cox says, there are trillions of, I think, billions of stars in one universe and trillions of universes. It's like, the chances of something happening can happen. Right? But anyway, if it is
Exactly.
a spaceship, Free Eye Atlas, if it is a spaceship and it slows down, then it's got to figure out to turn around and come back again when it realizes we bunch of numpties live on this planet. It must have seen it's waving down here, like, 'cause
Oh, yeah, I've read about that, and I'm thinking, is this really true, or is it just a bunch of, is it AI news outlets, or is it just people who do it, put up a bunch of BS online just so they can get some attention? But
it's a bit of both. It's not AI, so it's factually traveling through our solar system. It came from outside. It's leaving now. It's on its way back, traveling very, very fast, slowed down with the sun, or sped up with the sun and slows down again. Well, one or the other. Anyway, no, it must have slowed down, and off it goes. And then, and then, and it'll just go on for another billion, trillion years or whatever it is, because it's just nothing unless it hits something. But it didn't hit us. But everything spins roughly around an elliptical around the sun, not literally, because But this thing came through at about a 5% angle of our elliptical around the sun, which they say if it was aliens, that's what they would do.
yes,
If they were trying to
I read
detect
about that.
things on any of the planets in our solar systems, they could have skipped by all the rest because I think we've proven that there's no intelligent life on any of the other planets, although some people would argue there's not much intelligent life on ours at the moment.
Well, that's true, but yeah,
Present
well,
company accepted, and our listeners.
yeah, I agree with that. Well, we'll just have to see. No, I read about that, and part of me wants to believe it is going to happen, and hopefully it may happen, but who the hell knows, you know?
So many accidents. I do believe, listen, I believe in God, I'm allowed to, and I also believe in science. I believe in the creation of the universe and everything that then becomes scientific after it. And doesn't mean it doesn't one doesn't negate the other necessarily. Um, But well, definitely in my book, but for other people, maybe definitely. So I think that it's really interesting, and I love this. I don't talked about this before. If anybody hasn't listened to Brian Cox, I just think he's a they always say he's a mad scientist out there. This guy's not a mad scientist. He is a super smart scientist. Seems to know everything about what we do know about the
Yeah.
universe or what you can know. And then the other 99.9% hypothetical, whatever, because we know so little. And where we exist in the universe on a timeline as humans, it's just a tiny morsel of nothing. It's not even a big enough to be a gnat on an elephant's arse. It's nothing.
No.
And anyway, but he explains it in such a way that I'm in awe of the way he explains it. You could listen to him and he explains it. You go, I get that, I understand that, and he can take a point of view from any other scientist, including this alien spaceship supposedly being an alien or natural or unnatural or whatever, or anything else that's going on in the universe. And he just explains it in a way that you're in awe of it and you learn shit. And I mean, if you're interested in anything
Well,
scientific in our universe, he's got it all up, for what you
well, I
can know.
suppose if this is true, that this thing arrives around in our neighborhood in the next 40, 50 days, right?
No, it's too late. It's already moving away. What we will know, well, we won't know because we won't be able to see it soon. I think by mid next year, it'll be gone in the sense that we couldn't even see it, detect it, that it
Yeah.
even exists or hasn't gone somewhere else. So, I guess what? Give it 3 years to do a about U-turn. Let's assume it can put the brakes on quick enough and slow down quick enough. But
Yeah, who the hell knows?
yeah,
Well, we'll
it's
we'll
fun
see.
though. It's fun
Yeah,
though.
I think that they may be coming for us. I don't know.
Yeah, it's true. So another thing, okay, so in the UK, they just opened a new museum. Have you read about this?
Museum, but I can't imagine what about.
How big do you think this museum is?
Oh, I don't know. It depends what products they're putting in there, I guess.
Well, it's the size of a phone box. It is actually a phone box.
It's what?
It is
Phone
a
box?
phone box. They put a museum in a phone box, which sounds too funny to be true, but it's actually true. So I think it's a James Blunt museum, whatever. Okay. And they put it in a phone box. I don't know, there's things on the wall. They called it, and it's something you could go visit. It's like in a hedge in Herefordshire or somewhere like that. Where is the bloody thing? I don't know. Yeah, Herefordshire. It's James Blunt Museum. So go next time you go to England, jump in your car and go to the James Blunt Museum. You can walk around it in about 30 seconds or 3 seconds or something.
Well, they can only let one person at one time.
Only in England, right? Well,
Yeah.
no. How many people can you get in a phone box? That's BS. We've done that experiment before. There's a record for it, isn't it? Like 30 or 40 or something.
No, get out of it.
It is. I'm
Uh,
going to ask my friend ChatGPT, what's the record for the number of
uh,
people in the phone book? Record for number of peeps or people in a British phone booth. Come on, I'm saying 30. Let's see what it says. Probably seven. But it depends how tall they are. It's 14. There we go. Right in between. It was a group of gymnasts from East Sussex in 2014. In 2014, they got 14 gymnasts in there.
14.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I dread to think where some of them were having to stick their noses.
I didn't know you could be a gymnast at the age of 2 months old. But I'm just saying, I still find that hard to believe. They must
Oh,
follow
what
the
you're saying was we
Bible.
could break the record by chucking a load of babies in there.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's really what you're saying. Oh, that's a cool idea. Let's just do it to break the record. Hey, can we borrow your twins and triplets and just for a minute, just gonna put them in here in this warm place. Anyway, so it
Actually,
looks like
funny enough,
uh,
on the travel, you go wherever you go, you may see an old phone booth, a British phone booth. It's probably back in the days when the Brits were there, but I've seen that before. Just
they're
what's
everywhere.
a
They're not. They're
phone
just
booth
not
doing
in.
there?
They're in England, and then people put. I mean, they're everywhere. I mean, I've seen them in. I think there's in Jamaica and
Yeah,
St Thomas. Just I guess because of the British stuff. I mean, I've seen them down here in Shamley. There's one outside um, a what am I doing? Not a junk store, but where they sell artifacts and things like that. So yeah, it's just really Yeah. Anyway, so that's one thing. And what else is going on in the world? Um, apparently, oh, okay, here's another thing. How interesting would it be to do a live stream of a head of lettuce? Did you hear about this story?
A head of lettuce.
Only in the UK, right? Can it live stream a head of lettuce? And the reason the story came about was, if you remember, Liz Truss was the prime
Yes.
minister
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
49 days in England. So for a laugh, apparently somebody put a head of lettuce in Parliament. I think it was in Parliament. I think it was. Anyway, they live streamed it for as long as she was prime minister. And
Because
they
it goes
and
off
they just
quickly.
use it as a meme now to say, she lasted as long as a head of lettuce.
Hello. Well, there you go. Yeah. Well,
I love that British sense of humor because it's like it's so tongue in cheek. It's like when we talked about this about
yeah.
boat faces. We got people who are going for elections can name themselves whatever they want and come up with all this shit. So I just thought it was really funny that they live streamed a head of lettuce just for the fun of it. I just love the British sense of humor, the wit. It's so stupid.
What do you thought of that? Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure what's more stupid, doing a live stream of the head of lettuce or anybody tuning into it for more than 1 second.
There's always
Bet
there's always
people did.
something strange people think of to do. It may be to make a world record of something, but I don't know. It's a bit.
No, I think it was actually to make a mockery of the fact that, because she was conservative, wasn't she? The fact that because if they filmed it for more than the length of time that she was in, then they can say that it served more time in the house than she said less time in the house than a head of lettuce. That's kind of like, it's very mean in a way, but it's funny. It's not mean, it's funny. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm sure she laughed at it. I hope she did anyway.
Yeah, I just wonder about that because this is where maybe some of those weird British phrases come from. From it could have been something that happened in reality, like that. I don't know. You
Well,
know.
there is a term, isn't there, about a head of lettuce? It's got more sense than a head of less sense than a head of lettuce. I think that's, or more
Uh,
brain matter or something around that. There's always something going on.
yeah, there is. It depends whereabouts in the old country they come
So
from.
listen, for the first time, or maybe the second time ever, I put on no weight on a cruise.
No weight on a cruise.
Yeah. So I'm one of those people who is very proud to tell people, because I'm not shy, since when am I ever shy, to tell people I've been on Manjuro or what's known as Tirzepatide or Ozempic, with the different variations of them now for nearly 2 years. Did you
Well,
know that about me?
no, no, I didn't.
And what was really weird is over the years, and everybody says, oh, if you just diet and exercise, you lose weight. Of course you effing do, right? But I've been dieting and exercising on and off, I should say, for what, nearly 40 years. I think when I reached my 20s, I stopped being a skinny little runt and got a podgy belly and then a podgy chest and then a podgy everything, right? So so you go on a diet, you go running and you do that stuff and it's
Yeah,
great and you lose the weight and you're skinny and handsome again, right? And go, rinse, repeat for the next 35, 40 years. And it's only, and I kept putting on weight. I mean, and I, you know, and the reason I put in weight, and I was in my mind, the reason is because eventually dieting gets boring, or you're hungry all the time, and it's being hungry gets boring, or it's stressful being hungry and it's boring, and you need to eat, right? So, so what's the cure for that? Keep dieting and exercising 24/7 and have a boring bit, where you're hungry and you're trying to fill things in. Because there are people in the world that go, oh, yeah, it's so easy to lose weight. And there are skinny people that don't even bother because they don't eat as much, but they're not hungry. So it was only when I took Monjuro, my doctor prescribed it because I was 50 pound overweight. And then when you're getting in the 60s, right, you're like being 50 pound overweight is not a good thing. So I
no,
thought I'd give it a try for all the bad reasons, because it's like, oh, you shouldn't put drugs in your system, just go and diet and exercise. I'm like, shut F up, because I've been doing diet and exercise. I know our diet and exercising works. Every diet I've ever done worked once, and then it got boring and I was hungry. So I tried it, and within a few days, I stopped feeling hungry after eating half as much. So by definition, that alone, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know anything else, realize that this drug overcomes something you must have, which is you're always feeling hungry, and this drug stops you feeling hungry. So by definition, feeling hungry is an illness, right? It's not a mental illness. It's not easy to overcome because I've tried to overcome it. I'm pretty sensible knowing eating too much is bad for you. So why do I do it? Because I was feeling hungry. So you take this drug, and what it does, I mean, you can read up about it. You don't need me to tell you. So I'm convinced I have a gene, whether that's from my dad, because my dad died, he was not even 60, he died, and he was predominantly everything that came from being overweight because he ate too much and ate bad food. I've eaten good food and bad food and lots of it, right? This drug just stops you feeling hungry after you've eaten less. So by definition, to me, this drug stops this gene impacting my life. I now have the gene or the equivalent of the gene of all these skinny people that think all you have to do is diet and exercise. And they say, oh, I don't know why you put on weight, whatever, why you're obese, and all that BS. Because I don't have that anymore. I don't have that gene. I go around now eating probably half to two-thirds of what I used to eat, not even trying. I mean, I can eat that and I'd be sated. I can be sated from hunger. And so I've been on it for nearly 2 years, and I've been on cruise ships, and I still eat everything, but I'm full after eating half of it or two-thirds of it.
This is, to me, perhaps this is a sound of old age. I'm just saying, in a nice kind of way, the older you get, the less you can eat.
No, that's BS. That's BS because I have tried to come off of it or lower it, and I've put on 10 pounds again. So no, it's not that. It's a physical thing that affects you that you do not feel hungry. Like I had stew last night, right? I ate half a bowl of stew. I normally eat stew and dumplings because it's gorgeous, mate. It's hard to eat one bowl of stew and not add more dumplings, isn't it? I had one dumpling in half a bowl of stew and I was sated and I didn't want any more. And it was delicious, but I didn't need any more. I didn't want any more. So it's got nothing to do with age. Nothing to do with age. And if you read all the history, the millions of people who are using this, now they may not, some of them may have tricked themselves into whatever. But I genuinely believe now, after decades, 40 years of doing all the diets and all the exercise routines, but being hungry even then, because actually when I used to exercise, I would just be hungrier. I genuinely would go on a 5 mile run, come back, be hungrier, and eat twice as much of what I should eat.
An appetite.
Well, what not only worked up an appetite, worked up the appetite plus what I would have eaten anyway. So sometimes even that wouldn't work. And then people say it's discipline on that. But if nothing else, this drug suppresses the gene that makes you feel hungry. So I eat everything I used to eat, but just less of it. That's as simple as that.
No, there you go. Well, you've got this gene, right? So
yeah, and the
gene's get it from somewhere.
Well, it's
now,
like
it's funny because these, like, of course, where I've just come from recently, and I asked a question when I was talking one day. I said, "How many people out there have Viking's disease?" And they looked at me. What the hell is that? That can't be good. No, it's actually a funky thing. My dad had it, and I've got the gene on that. It's when the fingers bend over. It's called Dupuytren's contracture. It affects the nerves in your hands. And he had operation on one hand, but the other one, he didn't want to have the second operation because it's a brutal operation. It takes about 3 or 4 months to recover. But it's a thing, they call it Viking's disease. It actually came from when the Vikings came into Britain, but they sort of mingled with the northern people in England and Scotland. So people from the northern of England are more likely to have Viking's disease and pass it through.
I think people underestimate genes, and I think doctors for the like since we've known about genealogy, doctors for decades have been going around saying, okay, you're more likely to have longer eyelashes, you're more likely to be allergic to dust or mosquitoes, da 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 da. Well, they haven't really talked about the gene that makes you feel. I remember as a kid growing up, starving. We never had much going around. I used to steal bacon off my dad's plate. The bit that he left because we were so hungry. And you can blame the parents for that. I'm not going there, but we were always hungry. So I don't know whether it's when I then could afford my own food and it just gave me that gene, or my dad went hungry when they were growing up, and maybe it's something that affects some people. So all I'm saying is people who say that we need to get off our asses and go exercise and eat less, you need to just put up and shut up, because this proves the gene existed because it suppresses it, and I'm as happy
Okay, I
as a
know.
happy.
It's
And
got
my
something in
blood
it.
work came back where every single blood test on my blood work, there's a group of about 30 blood tests they do
Yeah.
here in America when you have your blood work done. For the first time ever in my life, everyone came back green.
Oh,
Every single one was green. It
well, good
lowered
for you, man.
cholesterol, so I'm on the lowest cholesterol. It lowered pre-diabetes. It lowered. I can't. Everything green, 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 green. Green grass of home.
Okay, well, you
And
may be
so,
able to take part of the New York Marathon next year or something.
yeah, I mean, well, listen. So net, I'm 52 pounds lighter than my maximum, and I haven't even tried, and I've not been hungry or depressed because I've not been eating what I love to eat. I still can eat a
Okay,
steak,
well, good.
but take half of it home. It's as simple
Okay,
as.
all right. Well, after all that, congratulations, Francis. You'll probably get to live an extra 2 weeks in your life.
2 weeks. Fortnight for our British friends, right? Fortnight.
Oh, good Lord. Don't get me
Hey, so
started.
listen, what you got? So what have you got coming up? I suppose soon going to be putting up. We don't really do Oktoberfest, or not Oktoberfest. We do Oktoberfest. We don't do Halloween so much here. But I've got to start planning my Christmas lights, so they're going to be going up soon at the end of the October. No, is it end of October? Oh, we're at end of October now. No, end of November, just before Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
Start putting the lights up, turn them on day after Thanksgiving.
yeah. But another uh, uh, celebration coming, it sort of is, and not many Americans know about this, is Guy Fawkes Night.
Bonfire night. Yep.
And November the 5th, Guy Fawkes was the
Please do
guy who tried to burn
remember
down the
the
House of
5th.
Parliament.
Please
And
do
you
remember the 5th
did,
of the November. And that all the adverts came out for 2 weeks prior, which is don't let the children light fireworks. Of course, we all did because they'll blow their hands off. You know when you're supposed to blow the bloody doors off. There's all that kind of stuff. And now look at the fireworks we have now. Like they're 10 times more explosive. And I don't see any adverts saying be careful.
yeah, no, but
Yeah, so November 5th. Yeah, sure. Well, I guess we could well, we just had Diwali. So there was fireworks going off every night for the last week. We had Diwali on. Oh, my dog's come to visit. Hey, Duffy. I guess because we are on camera, I bring my dog up. Come here, Duffy. Come on. I let everybody see my dog. Come here, boy. Oh, this is my Duffy. He was a
oh,
rescue dog, 11 years old. But don't feel sorry for him. He was a show dog and a
what
stud
type of
dog.
dog is that?
He's a Westie, West Highland Terrier.
Eh,
Is he
okay.
white or is he white?
He looks like he just come down from Svalbard up in the Arctic there.
He could be a polar bear. He could double as a polar bear. Look, it's a big miniature polar bear.
So what do you call him or her when he's in a good mood?
What do you call him
The dog.
when he's what?
The dog.
Duffy.
Fluffy.
No, Duffy. Duffy.
Oh, Duffy.
Duffy. Oh yeah, I forgot you're from up north. So Duffy. So listen, so all of our dogs have been named after alcohols. Don't ask why. Anyway, what they have. But this one was a rescue and his name was Duffy. So like, oh well, we'll break that. But no, we found out he's named after a Scottish whiskey called Macduff. So anyway, there you go. Because he's a Scottish West Highland Terrier.
Okay.
Called Duffy, named after Macduff whiskey. So we followed the tradition accidentally. We got him because his owners passed away, and then the breeder that we had our first Westie from, she said, "Hey, would you like to foster him?" We're like, "Yeah, but we want a young dog. Yeah, yeah, we'll foster him. Be fine." She tricked us. He was 8 when we got him, so she tricked us. But he's not going back. He's a fantastic dog.
Interesting. Yeah, I'll tell you what
All
now.
right, listen, I think we're probably
Anyway, all right. Yeah, we've been yakking a
stuff
bit.
to do.
So
So we'll probably be able to, a week or two, we'll get another episode out there and then start talking about that bloody Christmas time again so we can get our mince pies, sausage rolls and all that
yeah,
stuff.
I'll do it from the. I'll be down in the islands, and I leave. Now I'm on another cruise ship for a week. Come back here. I'll be back the first 2 weeks of December. So we'll do that then.
Well, make sure you don't get hit by that Hurricane Melissa, I think its name is,
Might
isn't
be a
it?
bit breezy down there. By tomorrow, we should know what route it's taking after it's hammered Jamaica, and so just have
Well,
to
our
see.
prayers are with all those people down there because that's a pretty horrific hurricane. I think
Oh,
it's a
exactly.
record.
It's the worst in their history that is that they've had, and feel for those people.
Yeah, and for all those climate people, just look at Bill Gates came out today and said, yeah, climate change, we overrated it. Let's just focus on our real problems for today. So well done, Bill Gates, for coming down on. We know we have a climate crisis, yes, okay, but it's not our biggest priority right now. We've done a lot of things to deal with it, and also we can't control, when there's things flying through space at 60,000 miles an hour that could hit us and destroy us in a heartbeat. Let's just focus on the problems we've got today as well.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
all right, on that
everyone's got to enjoy themselves while they can. All right, man. We'll be
all right,
in
you
touch
take
soon.
care.
And,
Goodbye, all listeners. Keep your responses coming. We love it. Thank you.
Well, that's all for today. 2 Brits, 1 country, and at least 3 cultural misunderstandings. Until next time, don't forget, tea is better than coffee, biscuits are not cookies, and driving on the right still feels wrong. Cheers.